Hi, today I'm going to be talking to you about the CCC4. The CCC4, apart from being a mouthful to pronounce, is a constant current LED driver. When do you use it? When you need to drive high power LEDs like the ones found in this downlight. Now, let me go through all the connectors on the CCC4 so you understand how to hook it up. We have, firstly, our power input that takes from 12 to 48 volts. We have each of our LED channels. Now, just be careful, with a constant current driver, we need access to the anode and the cathode of each LED. This is why there's 8 connectors here. We have our peeling port. I can explain a little bit more about that later. We have our DMX port, which is DMX RDM for addressing or discovery of the device. And we have our configuration dip switch, which allows you to change from 8-bit to 16-bit dimming and from RGB to RGB white. So now we've explained the connectors on the CCC4. What we have going on this table is, of course, the CCC4. We have this LED downlight that was lent to us by Digilin, great Australian company, shout out to them. We have an S-Play Mini that is using DMX to control the CCC4 and then connected to our computer here, which we're going to be using to program a sequence inside the S-Play Mini to then control this downlight. So now we've gone through the wiring of what's happening here, let's turn this on and get some light going. Okay, so on my laptop, I have a pre-built interface that's living in the S-Play Mini. That S-Play Mini is going to control the CCC4 via DMX. Let me turn this on. Click on the interface, and I have my colors. Now, in my color picker, I can pick my red, my green, my blue, whatever. But what's really important to understand here is that the S-Play Mini is sending out DMX signals going into the CCC4. The CCC4 is then driving this LED array, this high power LED array inside this light with the appropriate amount of current. What this means is that this LED array needs 1 amp per LED string to run. The CCC4, this particular one, is set to 1 amp also. The two matches, so that means I'm not overpowering this LED. I'm giving it the right amount of current to run. Now remember before when I said I was going to talk about the Plink port. So what we've changed here on our setup, we've added a CVC4 into the mix. We're still coming in from DMX, from the S-Play Mini into the CCC4. But now the CVC4 is actually connected via Plink to the CCC4. So what this allows me to do is to connect multiple dimmers on the same line. Why wouldn't I use DMX? Because when I use DMX, I'm limited to 32 devices on a single line. When I jump over to the Plink system, I'm limited to 170. So in this case, DMX comes into the CCC4. The CCC4, the first one, will convert into Plink signal, and then I can daisy chain from one to the other in Plink. And I still get independent control of each of these devices. They are also auto-addressing when I'm in Plink mode. So let me show you. I still have control of my high-power LED light, controlled by the CCC4, and I have control of the color-changing LED white tape, controlled by the CVC4. Now, let me turn this off. If I'm using a Pixelator Mini to control the CCC4, the first one, directly from Plink instead of using DMX at all, using one port, I can connect up to 170 of these dimmers, either CVC4 or CCC4, or a mix of them from one port. I have 8 ports on this device, which allows me to connect up to 5,000 dimmers from this single box. If I have a large-scale installation where I have many thousands of these high-power lights and LED pixel tape, I can have one common control system for the whole installation. This makes programming and commissioning a lot easier and also reduces cabling. And that wraps up our short video about the CCC4. I hope you've learned everything you need to learn about this great new product and how to use it in your next project when you need to drive a high-power LED. If you've got any other questions, don't hesitate, reach out to us in the comments below or send us a quick email and one of our technical teams will get back to you really shortly. Thank you. Bye-bye.